guys, welcome back to my podcast. I'm your host, Natalie Barbu. Today I have on my friends that are visiting me for my birthday weekend. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Giuli.
Hey, I'm Tochi.
And I'm Perrin.
Okay, so we were out on Friday night and we were having some wine. We went out to Lanyap in Miami and we wanted to do a life advice podcast because we were just like chatting about, I don't know. I don't even think we were chatting about anything in particular.
We've had tons of conversations this weekend, and we're like, let's bring it to the podcast studio.
Yeah. So I don't know what we were talking about when we brought it up, but yeah, we've just had lots of conversations, and we were a few glasses deep. So I posted on my story, we're going to do a podcast, and now we have to commit, even though it's the end of the weekend, and we are pretty dead, honestly.
Commit to the bit.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Or committed. So I think we should start with like introducing how we all know each other, though, because I'm going to get a lot of questions on that probably. So Giuli has been on this podcast how many times?
I think like 5.
Yeah.
Julie's
a repeat.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like a lot of your listeners already know that you were my big in our sorority, and that's how we met. And then I actually met Tochi. He was one of my first guy friends in college, which is pretty cool. And I just met Perrin this weekend, so...
Yeah, I'm a new addition to the group.
Yeah, lifelong friends now. But yeah, us three, have known each other for the past 8 years, which is crazy. I can't believe it's been 8 years. And Tochi and I know each other from college.
Yes, me and Natalie know each other from college. Grew up in the same hometown. Ran into each other on the bus. She knew me as life coach Toch from Twitter.
Yes, he was Twitter famous in high school.
Still holding on to that.
Yeah, and then Perrin and I met 4 months ago in December for Art Basel. They came to Miami, Tochi and Perrin, and we hung out. And now we're a little squad.
You guys will see us around.
We asked for your life advice questions, and you guys answered on Instagram. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to talk about just a few topics, like overall topics, and then we're going to get everyone's opinions on them. And also, we're not like professionals or anything, so this is just our own advice. But yeah, we're just 4 friends that want to give you unsolicited advice. Okay, the biggest one actually that I always get, and I also want to do like a whole episode on this, it's about making friends when you're older, like as an adult after college, not necessarily just through work. And I feel like you guys became friends fairly recently. All of us became friends fairly recently. But that's like the biggest thing is like the loneliness in your 20s, if you guys feel that way, and like how to actually like make friends outside of, your college or high school circle.
Yeah. I mean, I think something that's big is doing stuff that you enjoy. Finding your hobbies, I feel like if you put yourself in situations where you're comfortable, where you're enjoying yourself, you're going to put your best self out there. And then you're going to also be more inclined to meet people when you're doing things like that. Like, for me, I enjoyed going to, we played kickball. We did, intramural things like that. Not intramurals from college, but, we would play kickball. We joined a club, and, it would give us a reason to gather every week. Just something outside of work. Something outside of just going out and drinking. I feel like that's... You can make friends that way, but it's not. Sometimes it doesn't last. It's just it ends up being people that you just go out with and not actually make meaningful relationships with them.
Yeah, I haven't made any friends from just going out. I feel like
It's tough.
I think also a big thing is making an extra effort. Like in college, you're living with friends and stuff, and I think that when you're new in a city, and even though you're tired and probably feeling super lazy, you really have to at least at the beginning, really go out of your way to make plans and maybe double or triple text people that you don't know very well and get out of your comfort zone. And it won't be immediate that you make friends, but I think it slowly starts all falling into pieces.
Do you guys feel weird? Do you feel like you're flirting with guys, or flirting with girls, when you're trying to make these friends?
Absolutely. All the time.
Because yeah, it's that weird line where you're because I remember when I met Caroline here in Miami, I just DM'd her and I was like, hey, I heard you moved here, you seem really cool, would love to get coffee. I feel like it's sliding into someone's DMs, as if you're flirting with them.
I had to get good at flirting with guys.
Yeah.
Had to. And I mean, it pays off in the long run. Like you said, it's work, but you got to be able to break that ice and be able to put yourself out there.
He's going to be offended that you're trying to reach out. You know, like, I feel like it's scary, but people usually respond.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I moved to Atlanta for the first time, I came not knowing anybody. And you're right, like, in the 20s, like, you do feel lonely. It happens. It's part of life. But the biggest thing is just putting yourself out there. And then Giuli pointed on it, too, is, like, being patient. I'm very picky with people because, like, you are who you surround yourself around. That's, like, you know, that's just going to become part of you. So, you know, me and Tochi became really good friends, but it didn't happen instantly. And, like, just, you know, just continuously putting yourself out there, being patient, like, finding common interests with people. Me and him actually love the same type of music, and that's how we started a bond and whatnot. And, yeah, playing basketball is big. I think for guys and girls, it might be a lot different. Like you said, you can DM Caroline and then you guys become friends. I think it's a little different with guys. Like, we would go play basketball, maybe get in a group chat, maybe, you know, guys love video games, so that's a good bonding topic too. But important thing is just, like, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable and, yeah, flirt with some guys. Yeah. Give them a wink, buy them a drink at a bar, and the rest will be history.
Oh, no.
Tochi, make a song.
Make a song.
Yeah, rap something.
Rap something, man.
Are you ready?
Wait. All right.
Happy birthday to you. Liked it when the lady at brunch did it?
Yeah, I did.
Hey. Keep going, man. Hey. Put me more in the middle. You like that? I love that I'm rapping. I love that I'm rapping right now. People need to know I'm a Man U fan. Big day. Talking about DMing.
Natalie was talking about
DMing guys.
She was talking about how you just need, like, one friend to connect
you,
and then like the ball starts rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was exactly how I made my friends in Dallas too, actually.
You guys feel like in your 20s, friendships are different than in college, like more drama or less drama, or you feel like you have, like, an actual closer knit group now?
I feel like I never had a whole lot of drama around me to begin with.
Yeah, on it. Okay.
I'm pretty unproblematic, I think.
Tochi is the least dramatic, most, like, neutral person I've ever met. It gets along with anyone. Like, I don't know, does anyone not like you that you know of? Can you, like, pick up some people that you're like, yeah, that guy doesn't like me, or that girl doesn't like me?
I'm not gonna say any names.
Yeah.
But there was one instance, and I feel like it wasn't even my fault. I was just caught in the middle of some drama.
Okay.
Only
so
time.
One person does not like Tochi.
One person.
I definitely feel like in college, yeah, it was all about, like, who you go out with, who's in what fraternity or sorority or whatever. And now we're, like, 26, 27. That's just kind of, like, immature, I feel like, and that's not who I want to be friends with.
I think for me, it's just very important that our values align in my friendships and stuff like that. And in college, I really didn't, like, think about that as much. So that's where, like, you kind of start getting pickier.
Yeah. I also feel like I have, like, deeper friendships now than I did in college.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I am obsessed with my friends right now. Like, in a way where I'm like, I'm so loyal to them. Like, I would do anything for them. Whereas I don't feel like I had that in college as much. 8 years long here. Work to develop. And 4 months.
8 years. 4 months.
Someone asked what to do if you're feeling lost in your 20s, which I feel like all of us have probably felt.
Everyone definitely struggles with that. Man, and there's no right or wrong way to do this thing called life. But, yeah, I think it's just to experiment, right? Like, figure out what you like. Don't be afraid to fail. Like, you know, accrue some debt, like, jump off a cliff, you know, start a new hobby, fall in love. I mean, there's no right or wrong way. It's just kind of being open-minded.
I would also say don't put a lot of pressure on yourself either. Like you said, you just got to try things, and don't put so much pressure on yourself to have it figured out in your 20s. You know, like, I feel like that's what your 20s is for, is to do things, be lost, figure out what you like, figure out what you don't like, and things will just fall into place if you do put yourself out there, do try new things.
A lot of people sometimes are scared to follow their dreams because they think they might not be able to accomplish it. And I think that the 20s are the time to try, you know, like, if you fail, nobody will care in the end, but if you succeed, hey, that's great. So I think that You really just need to put yourself out there and follow your dreams, as cliche as that sounds.
Yeah, and I also think, at least for me, with being in like my 20s and feeling like when I have felt really lost, it's always been out of a place of like comparing myself to someone else or comparing my like trajectory to someone else. And now with social media, you can compare yourself to like literally anyone on earth. And so there's always going to be someone that's better than you or more ahead than you or whatever. Like there's always someone a step ahead of you. And so then you're like, oh, wow, like look at them. Like they have accomplished way more. They have like more followers, or they're, I don't know, married and have kids already and I don't, or whatever it is in your life that you're like comparing. But honestly, that is never going to make you happy, and it's never going to bring you, like, you're never going to get closer to your goal if you're just like looking at other people. I know that's very, very, very cliche and cheesy, but like I think that that's always been whenever I've been feeling lost, I always catch myself like comparing myself, and that's usually why I feel that way.
You're not lost. It's all about like changing your perspective. And everyone's lost, and you're right, like comparisons are just the worst way to go. Your journey is your own. The path less traveled is the way to go.
Cheesy and deep.
Yeah,
I know.
it's
I
true.
feel like a Hallmark movie or something saying this advice.
It's real though.
I
It's
know.
real.
Do you feel like if you heard this when you were younger, when you were like 21 in college, you would be like roll your eyes?
For sure.
It's hard to apply in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, what? Life is great. I'm having so much fun and have not as many responsibilities, but you slowly start realizing that life gets serious day by day, and yeah.
What would you tell your like 21-year-old self, sophomore, junior in college?
Is so funny. I've always like had like this like little like daydream of mine where I wish I could go back in time and mentor myself. And really it'd just be to stop like following so much and be more of a leader, you know? And just, yeah, that's the number one thing.
I agree. I think for me, it would be like, do what you want to do. I feel like I spent a lot of time doing what I felt like I should be doing, basically, like, because of like maybe what I saw other people doing or what my family wanted me to do. And I think that's when you're going to feel lost, is when you're living for someone other than yourself.
I think I would tell myself to just like trust myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've doubted myself a lot along the way, and like I want to like take control of everything, but when I just trust myself, things just like go well.
I think I would tell myself, I'm trying to think, because like it's weird because when I think back to college and I think back to like when we met or like being friends, like it doesn't feel like a long time ago. Like it feels like it was last year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like it's been almost a decade. And then I see like my little siblings and I'm like, oh my God, they think that they're so big. And I'm like, we weren't like that. And I'm like, no, we probably were like that. I just like don't, in my mind, I'm like, oh, not much has changed. And then I look back and I'm like, wow, like everything has changed. But I think back then I cared a lot about what people thought of me, or like I like really, yeah, I think I just like really cared about people's opinions. And I also was really scared to just like be totally independent and like be alone and be like able to kind of like pave my own path, quote unquote. So I think I would tell myself to not care that much about what other people think about me and actually like do what I want to do and not have that like pressure, kind of like you were saying, of like what people expect of you or what your parents want or your friends want or what other people are doing, and just like do my own thing and trust myself too. A little mixture of everything.
It's still hard sometimes. It's not like we got it all figured out, you know. Like sometimes I have to repeat to myself, "Hey, like I know I can do it. Like I can trust myself," you know. So I think it's an everyday like progress and conscious effort.
Yeah. Are you more excited about getting older, or does it scare you? I know we talked about it kind of this weekend.
I think a little bit of both.
I think so too. That's true. But I get nervous when I think about turning 30.
I like definitely was scared about getting older. Like, you know, opportunity like flies by and it's like, well, shit, I'm not succeeding. Like, you know, a lot of guys our age that are like all over social media or whatever are like driving nice cars, doing this, that, traveling, blah, 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 comparing yourself to others. Like, that's like when for times it's like, dang, I'm like getting older and like I'm not like doing the things and the dreams that I have. But on the flip side, not that I am older and time has been passing more, I do like to think of it as, I'm getting wiser with every day. I like to think of myself like a glass of fine wine,
Okay.
I get better. I get spicier. I get smart. My perspective has totally changed that I'm older, and I'm happy with the progress.
Yeah, I think I enjoy getting older because I look back even like 6 months or like a year, and I'm like, wow, I feel like a much wiser person, or like a much like better person. And so I think that makes getting older less scary. Like, I think getting older was a lot scarier when I was 22 versus like right now I'm like, oh, it's just another year, and I feel like I keep leveling up as I get older. So I think that's where the dynamic is.
Yeah, I actually think the same thing, because I remember when I turned 24, I think it was, or 24, 25, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm turning 24, 25. Like, I'm like, this is so old. I hate this. Like, I just wanted to be 22. And now I just turned 27, and I'm like, wait, I am so much more confident. I like really love my life. I look back a few years ago, and I'm like, I'm so much better of a person. So like I feel like a stronger person now, and it just like excites me for the next chapter. And I think for us specifically, for just like being women, like a lot of women are scared of getting older, I think, because of like, oh my God, I'm 30 and I like don't have kids or whatever, like that fear. But I don't know, I just have like faith that everything's gonna work out. Like, I don't think that my timeline, like if I try to control the timeline, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna go my way regardless. So like I might
worse. It's gonna go worse. I feel like when we try to control it, and having faith. Honestly, it's like, just follow and trust the process.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, wait, I actually like getting older because I feel more confident and I'm like better, and regardless, things are gonna work out. So there's no point in trying to control it.
Yeah, there's like that age-old saying too. It's kind of corny and more hallmarky, but it's like one who dwells on the past is a depressed person, or like they deal with depression. Who dwells on the future is anxious. So it's just be in the moment.
I like it.
Which is really hard. Like it's
hard.
But being in the moment, it's also nice because you get to build stronger and deeper connections if you're in the moment. Because if I was here sitting with you guys and I'm thinking about like everything I have to do tomorrow, then I wouldn't even be enjoying like your presence. And so it's very important to focus on.
Yeah, it's super hard nowadays too, because like we all have phones, like, and like there's countless times where like we're all hanging out and people are on their phones, which I mean that's just part of life, but like that makes it so much harder to be in the moment.
I know, it really does. That's my biggest pet peeve, if I'm with someone or at like lunch or dinner or whatever, and like we're at a table and like everyone's on the phone. Phones.
For sure. I love spending quality time with people, and big red flag if like the phone is just in the way all the time. Yeah,
no, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm happy getting older, and I'm like, just I appreciate things so much more now. Like, I appreciate my friendships so much more. I appreciate even like my family so much more. I just I feel like when I was younger, when I was like 22, 23, I kind of got, it was one of those where like, oh, no one understands me. Like you like, it's like, I don't know, or you're like, oh, my parents just don't get it, like whatever. And now I'm like, wait, I actually appreciate, even though we don't get to like agree with everything, I like really, really appreciate them so much more. And like, I'm so much more grateful for like the friendships that I've developed versus when I was 23. I don't think I like thought that much about it. Next topic. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit about romance. We've talked a little bit
gear
about
switching.
That. Okay, and okay, first one is, how do you deal with rejection? And we're going to talk about this in like a romantic way.
Yeah,
so how do you deal with
romantic way?
Yeah, like someone rejecting you or someone not liking you.
This is going to be interesting because like I think the guy's like perspective versus a girl's perspective is so different. So this will be interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think I mean, no one likes rejection. Like, we're not gonna. Yeah, no one's like.
My ego's too big for that. I hate that.
Yeah, no one likes rejection. I feel like for girls, there's a lot of times we deal with rejection with delusion, where it's like, if a guy like isn't texting you, or if he's like, showing that he's not interested in you, instead of being like he just doesn't like me, we're like, oh, he's so scared of you, and you know, he's like so intimidated, and he just likes you so much that he's not texting you because like of those reasons, or like we'll be like, oh, maybe he just like has got really busy and just like he's waiting to text you for like the perfect moment. You know, it's like we get delusional because we don't want to we don't want to actually believe that like someone would reject us. So I think for me, what I've been realizing is like if someone doesn't like me, like that's okay. Like not everyone is gonna like me, and not every guy is going to like me, and that's fine. It's kind of just like, okay, then that's not your person. Like, good, you dodged a bullet, that's it. But like, I'm not gonna make up fake scenarios in my head of like they just like are so intimidated by me, and that's why they're not texting me. Like, no, they just don't like me, and that's it. And just like, okay, on to the next one. I feel like that's what I've learned, how I've dealt with it. Gone from delusional to just like, okay, next.
Yeah, I think there's like tiers of rejection, right? So it's like there's obviously like you've been with someone for a while, and then there's like a rejection. So like a breakup is like a form of rejection, or there's like that lower level tier where it's like you're just kind of flirting out and about, and you're like, hey, what's up? You're kind of cute, but like rejected that way. So I think dealing with those different forms is like way different. Like on like the more serious note, like if you were like, you know, a serious rejection where like you were in a relationship for a long time, I think there's a funny quote that I like, or I think about. It's the best way to get over someone is to get under someone else.
What? That is horrible advice.
Well, it's like, there's even like a Shakespeare variation of that where like
don't compare it to Shakespeare.
well, I think it's like a serious like. I think like, yeah, I mean, to get over someone like long term like that is like, you know, go find something else, right? Shorter term rejection though is just, I don't know, it seems lighter, it's less serious, easier to deal with in my eyes.
I disagree with your with the first one, but that's okay. I don't know. I feel like you gotta be comfortable with yourself, and then you can find someone else.
Fair enough.
For me, I think that I look at rejection as an opportunity always to like grow, and like I think that when I start feeling really bad about somebody rejecting me, usually it's like my own insecurities coming out, so I try to like really reflect and see how I'm going to change this, or how am I gonna, you know, like be better from that. And I think that in that sense, the best way that has helped me not like beat myself down when I get rejected is like, you know, more of like a spiritual way. Like I know it's for a bigger purpose, and I know that something better is coming, and yeah, just accepting that it's not for me, you know, like not trying not to like be like, and honestly, if I keep on thinking about it, I just make jokes about it, and then it just kind of becomes a funny story.
Yeah. What's yours?
I don't know. I feel like for me, it's just I think it's an abundance mindset. Like, you know, kind of like you said, just on to the next. It is what it is, and I feel like a lot of the time it's more about the other person than it is about you. Is like something that I'm a firm believer in. Like, obviously you need to work on yourself, like be self-aware enough to know if like you're doing something that's causing, maybe if it's like if it's like a pattern, maybe you got to figure something out. But you know, if it's just like a one-off thing and like the person doesn't even know you, like you get rejected trying to hit on a girl at the bar or something like that, like
What can you do?
Exactly. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah. See, I'm glad though that at least for me, I know a lot of girls do go up to guys at bars and like hit on them and stuff like that.
Really?
I will not do that. I
will not either. Like there is no way.
I respect that when girls do that.
Like, okay, what works for you? Like, what I would just
for a girl to come up to me?
Yeah, like I would never ever do that.
What works? I think it just depends on who it is. I don't think there's a magic. I don't think there's a recipe to it.
No, but what would be your ideal scenario? And like, if you were going to meet a girl tonight, that like, what would be the perfect way for you to like talk to that girl, in your opinion?
For her to approach me?
Sure.
Huh. I don't know. I feel like just
come
up and be like, hey. I mean, I've had girls come up and be like, hey, I just think you're, you know, a good-looking guy.
Ooh.
Like nothing too like. I think it's just very straight and to the point. Like they don't have to be like super clever about it. Like I don't think anyone's ever hit me with a one-liner and I'm like, damn, that was smooth. Yeah. You know.
I don't think I could ever go up to a guy and be like, I just think you're very attractive.
No, never. I think I would compliment. I could compliment them.
Ooh.
I could be like, oh, like I really like hat or your shirt, you know, or like something like that.
You know what always makes me nervous though? Like you never know if they're in a relationship. So I'm always like, when am I crossing a line? You know, like, so yeah, I think that's a perfect way to like approach someone.
Yeah, complimenting them. And also I feel like guys don't get complimented that often. Like girls always get complimented.
I compliment my friends all the time, by the way.
Yeah, like
I gas my people. Gas my people up. Maybe not that. I didn't say all that.
I wish I could.
We're back.
We're back after a brief intermission.
Yeah, okay, wait, I think it's Perrin was going to answer something, right?
Yeah, you had asked me a question.
Okay, wait, what was your ideal? What'd you say?
Yeah, I said like, if a girl was to approach you tonight, like, what would be the best way in your like perfect world, like for her to approach you?
Yeah, so I saw this on TikTok and I think it's hilarious. It's the girl would walk up to me and be like, "Hey, my friend over there thinks you're cute." And then she runs away towards where she pointed and then waves from a distance.
I'm sorry, if someone did that in real life, you would be like, this girl's weird. Like,
But I would respect it.
I would respect it too because I'm aware that it's like kind of a joke, you know what I mean? And it's like
I give so much props to the girls that can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you said you know girls who do it. I feel like it's very few and far between.
Yeah. Yeah, like Giuli said, we're not goofy. So, like,
Natalie and I have like, I feel like more serious personalities. So it's like, if I did that, I would seriously just like cringe. Like the entire time, I would be like, no. I have to go home and sleep right now. So.
yeah.
Well, you can't. I don't think the best way to approach someone isn't like a lighthearted approach. Like if you were real serious about it, like, hey.
Yeah, but like I like her
What's
approach
your
could just be
political
like,
views?
Hi, I'm Giuli. You know, like it doesn't have to
Fair.
be like
Yeah.
me acting out like So I don't know.
Yeah. Have you ever rejected anyone, like, that has come up to you at a bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do one of these numbers. Yeah. Like, I'm nice. I'll entertain people. Honestly, I entertain people for too long.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wait. Oh my God. Okay, that's so funny.
Yeah.
We should actually share the Uber story.
I don't even know how to begin to sum up what he was telling me. It's just, he was the most wild real life conspiracy theorist I've ever met in my entire life, which, like, maybe he had some truth to what he was saying, but he had Alex Jones videos pulled up on his phone when we got in the car, and I was like, oh boy.
And breathing very heavily.
And breathing very heavily.
And he got defensive about a colonoscopy.
And anytime I spoke, he acted like he wanted to kick me out of the car. Like, anything I said was just like, why are you speaking in the
Yeah, I
back?
don't think he liked women very much.
No, I don't think he liked women at all.
Also, like, Natalie was like giving him orders. She was like, get on the right lane. And he was like, yeah, there's no bike coming, so I can. It's
Yeah, like, it was like very sassy, very like I could tell he was gonna miss our turn, so I was like, "Oh, you need to get over." And he's like, "Oh, gee, if there's no cars coming," like I don't know, it's just like so sassy.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, dude, I'm just not trying to be in the car with you any longer than we need to be."
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I was getting nervous.
But Tochi, you still rated him a 5-star.
I gave him 5 stars because he said he was a smart guy. He said he was a investigator. He knows how to get information. I was like, this guy doesn't need to track me down for giving him a 1 star.
Yeah, no, that was very, very funny. But I guess, yeah, like you entertained the Uber driver for a while.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I do the same at bars or if I'm out. Like, I don't know how to be like, I am not interested. Like, I'm not going to act interested. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, like whatever. But like, I can't be like, stop talking to me, you know, or like,
Yeah.
I'm not interested, or like if a guy asks for my number, I feel like I have to give it. Like, it's like, I will give you my number and then I won't ever respond to you, but like I have to in the moment, like, give it.
Oh, like, I always lie about my number. I like change one number always.
Okay, but have you ever had it when they're like, oh, what's your number? And then you put it in their phone. They're like, oh, I just called you. Make sure you got it. So like you can see if it's ringing.
It's happened to me, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know, that's weird. And like I just like I made a mistake.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't know.
damn,
Like,
that's
but
crazy.
I tried to avoid it.
I don't have service. Weird.
What's that so weird? I don't understand. Maybe later. You know, like.
Yeah.
I would just never be that guy that would be like in your face trying to double check, right? Like, I'll take my rejection at home alone. Like,
probably increase your likelihood of being rejected if you're like, hey, did you get that text?
But there are some persistent guys out there.
There are.
Yeah, have you witnessed any, or any of your friends, those types of guys?
I mean, definitely. I think
Yeah.
a good bit of guys are like overly persistent. Like, you know, a guy just has like the tendency to want to like control a situation, and like, I don't know, if a girl's evading, they think it might be in their favor to try to rally her in, where like, you know, being persistent has not worked. I don't think it's a good strategy.
Yeah.
For any guys out there listening.
I'm not persistent. You give me any sort of hesitation, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, I feel I'm also that way. Like, when it comes to like texting or like reaching out to guys, if I can tell that you're into me, okay, I'll have you reach out the first few times, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll reach out once, like whatever. I'm not gonna be like, I'm never texting first, whatever. The second you are like showing that you're not interested for a day, I'm like, okay, never again will I reach out unless like you show me for the next like month that you like me. Like, I'm like not dealing with this. Someone asked how to get back into the dating world when you've recently moved to a new city. Which I feel like all of us have moved to new cities, and I'm probably the least experienced dater here because I like fairly recently got out of a relationship, so I feel like I haven't been exploring much, but I feel like the rest of you have been single for a little bit, and moved to a new city.
Yeah, I think if you're, I don't know, I don't like online dating, so I don't want to recommend that to anyone. But a lot of people swear by it and like can meet people quickly if you have trouble putting yourself out there. But I mean, it kind of ties back to like what we were first talking about. Like, put yourself out there, do things that you like to do, meet people. I think like the strongest way to date or meet someone that you're really gonna like or find a genuine connection with is through other networks. Yeah. Like, walls are down. It's like not a total cold approach, although if you're a stone cold killer, you can do cold approaches. But yeah, I think you just got to put yourself out there. It kind of ties back to what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, I don't like the dating apps either, but I know people that are successful on them, so that's always an option, especially when you first get to a city. If you're just trying to like get out there, see different people, like see what's out there, try the dating apps. But I'm basically just going to echo what Perrin said. I feel like you got to do things that you like, find your hobbies, and then things will naturally come to you once you get yourself in the right circles.
Yeah. Any dating app horror stories or dating horror stories? I don't have any, so I want to hear yours.
I swipe all the time.
Okay.
And I think I've followed up. I've gone on like 3 dates from a dating app, like ever. And I've been on them probably since college, you know? Yeah. And I don't know, it's like almost like a game for me. Like, and I also have like so many, I feel like, meaningful relationships in real life. It's hard for me to like go out of my way on the dating apps to actually meet up with somebody that I don't know and don't know if I have a connection to that person.
I am the exact same way. Like, I have only been on dating apps for like a few days/weeks at a time. I always end up like pausing my accounts and being like, I hate this. But for me, one, I'm not a big texter. So like texting in general is just like, I don't like texting. So the fact that this is a text first like way to meet someone is just already like not gonna work that well for me. And then also, if I'm someone that like I really get to know, like I feel like I start to like someone based on like the connection we have, which I know that sounds cliche again, but like your personality and the way that we can like have conversation is so much more important to me than just like your photos. So it's hard for me to tell, like, am I going to like this person or not off of texting and off of a dating app? And 3, I don't even know how to kick it off because I'm like, I don't care about you. Like, I don't know you, so I don't care about you. So, like, what do I ask you? Like, I don't know. I'm like, you know, it's like.
I hate it.
And I don't have time to, like, come up with, like, a catchy, funny phrase. Like, if I'm going to, like, reach out to you through a dating app, I'm probably just going to say, hey, and then, like, it's just doesn't work out. It's complicated for me too. Yeah.
I just am like, I don't like, hey, how was your day? Like, I don't know you, so I don't care about how your day was. Like, I don't, you know, it's like it just doesn't work for me. Mm-mm. So, but it works for some people. And I think probably when you move to a new city, it's good because then maybe you can make friends. I don't know. Yeah. It might not work romantically, but maybe you can make friendships out of it.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that.
Yeah. Any horror stories? Pass the mic.
Okay, so from online dating, maybe not, because I'm similar to Tochi. I've had it on and off for a while, but I've only probably gone on like 3 or 4 dates, and like they're all like relatively fine. But I seriously vetted these people. But
What does that mean? Seriously vetted.
well, like
how do you vet them?
like talk to them on the phone.
Oh.
Like
okay.
try to like
FaceTime.
if I can like figure out if they're not a serial killer, if they're like Instagram or something.
That's funny because like I feel like for girls it's so much more like we really got to make sure the guy is normal.
Yeah.
Like that's like you could murder us. I mean, a girl could murder you too, but
Yeah, it's 2023. I
odds
could get
are
murdered. So it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, like I just don't want to like really be wasting my time, and like I just want to make sure it's like the right decision to.
And honestly,
take you
like
out.
sometimes for me, like I mean, I've only been on one date from a dating app, and it was so draining. Like it's just so exhausting to like try to get to know someone that you literally do not know and know nothing about, and like in the first 10 minutes if you like them or not. And clearly I didn't. So like after the first 10 minutes, I was like, how do I get out of here? So it's complicated.
Do you know right away? I've never been on a dating app date. So
Like would like know right away if you like someone or not?
like if from a dating app.
I feel like, I mean, you can get a vibe, but I mean, you could like someone in the first 10 minutes and then the next 10 minutes not like them. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think like, I don't know. Like a bad first impression will work against the other person, but a good first impression isn't just like, oh, I'm in love with you now. So you gotta,
Yeah.
it's gotta be good dynamics for the night.
Yeah, but if I have a bad first impression, like I'm not gonna put that much effort anymore.
Yeah. Did you have a bad first impression, or was it just like you weren't into him?
I just think that the conversation was so boring. Like I literally was thinking about how I needed to pay attention to him. I was like, look at his eyes. Like, look at his eyes. I was like, yeah, no, I can't wait to get out of here.
Yeah, the best dates are ones you don't have to think about at all.
Yeah.
It's just like y'all are laughing, talking shit. Like, ideally, no serious topics are like brought up, and you can just have fun.
Yeah, I feel like if you have to think about what to say next, like sometimes when I'm networking or like talking to someone, I'm like, okay, I need to ask them about this next or this next, because then or else like the conversation might go dry, and I don't want awkward silences. I feel like if you have to think about that, then probably not person for you.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't had I feel like I've never been on a bad like Hinge date or like just really dates in general. Like I feel like the conversation always flows. It's just afterwards, do I have the willingness to like follow it up and like do it more? Mm-hmm. That's where like I drop off. Like I always have a good time in the moment. It's just getting me to commit to wanting to build with that person is then a whole different battle.
Interesting. Yeah, I know. I'll let you guys know. We'll do a part 2 in like a year from now, and one of our next trips, and I'll come back with some dating app stories.
Nice.
I keep telling myself, I'm like, I need to get on them, and I need to like just do it just to like have that experience. It like scares me. I can't. I'm so uninterested. Like the thought of meeting someone that I don't know and speaking to them for an hour is like sounds horrible to me. So, anyways, okay. I think we've actually been recording for kind of a long time. So, I feel like this was a good 3-part. We talked about friendship, 20s, navigating your 20s, and rejection and dating. A well-rounded podcast.
Very well rounded.
Good life advice.
Good life advice. And this was a good intro to like, the next time we all hang out, you'll be more comfortable on the mic. Giuli's already, she's a pro.
She's a star.
Tochi, you've been in a few videos too.
Yeah. Way back in the day.
Yeah. Perrin, this is your first appearance.
My first appearance.
But yeah, very happy that we did this. And where can they follow you guys if you want them to follow you? If not, you don't have to leave your Instagram.
I'm trying to build my personal brand.
Okay.
At Life Coach. Yeah.
Plug your stuff.
At Life Coach Toch on every platform. It is Life Coach TOCH.
He vlogged this weekend.
He did vlog this weekend.
We all did.
Except me.
You can find me at on Instagram, Perrin Moncur, just PERR Moncur MONCUR.
And for me, it's Juliana Bernini S.
Amazing.
Yeah,
And
we're
then
gonna be doing some cool shit. So definitely give us a follow.
I'm excited for all of our trips. We should we should take them along.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a podcast every time. Get some updates.
I like that.
Little series.
I love it.
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming on.
See ya.